All right, so now we're going to start working with interactivity in Adobe XD. And so the first thing just to look at is we have these three up here, right? We have design, then we have prototype, the prototype workspace. So you notice the tools go away and there's some different things over here. Eventually I'll show you the share things, but let's go, right? We see our file here has all of these things on it. We remember that pressing this will kind of get us into the first thing. We can always set what that home page is, but we don't have to worry about that. Up here, there, you could potentially try things out on your phone. You have to download the Adobe XD app, and then you can plug your phone into your computer and actually send things right to there, which is a real nice way to play with things in their interactivity. But let's just focus on the basics of the basics here. So we're going to start over here at this right here, and then I'll end this video and then move over to this. So simplest thing that we need interactivity is just move from one page to another, right? And so how do we do this? So I have this object right here, there's this here. I'm actually going to just take these all as a group. So, or you know what, I'm going to actually just group these two together by Command G, or we could go to object group, right? So they're just one item here because I just want it, anytime you click on this, I want to send you to this page, right? You see this is the page, although that's not the same headline. I don't know why it's not set up the same. But notice when I'm in design, right, I just have the corners, but when I'm in prototype and I have something selected, you'll see this little blue arrow here. And with this arrow, all I have to do is, right, I can just take it and drag to an artboard, and this will be where I'm going. So, right, so here I've gone to this, and you'll see it just kind of goes to the center, and this is just a really long artboard. I guess if I just zoom out, right, I can kind of show you what's going on, right? Super long artboards. So it's going to this. But now we have some options over here, right, of how do we animate. And so transition just means we go from one to the other. It's just kind of a, maybe you see a little bit of a fade in, fade out kind of deal. Auto animate is when you have same things on these two views, and we'll use it later, but to kind of change states of things, but there's also some other state things. You could actually make it click out to another website. So if I do this, it'll ask you where do you want to go. Overlay is for things, and we'll use it over here in the next thing, so don't worry about that, but overlay puts it above the thing you have. Scroll to, right, doesn't work on the artboard level. Instead, you'd have to go pick another object. So I could click on this object, and so if I want to get rid of this, I just can drag this up. I could usually drag it out. Okay, let me just hit delete. There we go. And if I wanted to use a scroll to, right, maybe when you click this, I want you to scroll to that, right? You could do that. So let's get rid of that, put this back. Previous artboard, obviously, if I click on something, it goes to the last thing that was shown. Now, we're not going to use this, but there is a way to do audio and speech playback, right, and things like that. So audio would be doing a file. Speech would be it tries to read the thing with the little computer voice. We don't need any of that, right? We mostly just need to live up in this area right here, right? The first however many. But simply by doing this, right, now I'm able to page transition. So if I go ahead and hit play, right, and I go down to this, I click on that, and there it is. I've gone to that second page, right? And that's important because when we're testing our website, we want to go to the right pages. We want the real experience. We're making an interactive prototype. We want as real of an experience as we can create for testing, user testing, showing the client all these things, right? And just knowing ourselves how the website works. Besides this, you'll see that there's other triggers besides tap, and I'll talk about drag later. We're not going to use these either. With transition, just to stay with transition here, you'll see, right, I can, I don't have to use the pullouts. I can kind of do other things, but it's just easier to use the pullouts. But you do see this, right? We can see kind of the transitions. We don't have to just have that dissolve I was talking about, right? Here's slide left, and so let's just check that out. Boom, right? So now we have it a different way, right? And I would click a previous artboard on this or actually just build it, right? So let's do that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take these. I'm going to group them together, pull it to that artboard. Now I want to slide right? And so now when I have this one selected, push play, I go to that article. I want to go back to the blog. I slide that way. So you see we can have multiple types of transitions. We're not limited to just the dissolve. Grab this again. One other thing I should show is that there's this thing called easing. And easing is basically when things move. Think about how things move. They don't really move at equal speeds. They can take some time to start up. They can kind of dampen at the end. And these are what these are for, right? So there's usually you're going to want to ease out means like when the animation starts, it slowly, gradually gains speed. Ease in is that dampening at the end, and ease in, ease out kind of puts it on both sides. Then you see there's other fun things here: snap, wind up, bounce. So let's try a bounce here. See what that looks like. That and go there. Boom! Right, we see that little bouncy, right? Obviously, you probably don't want to use that one for page transitions, but there are other times where you may want to use bounce type transitions, right? So that's pretty much everything you need to know about transitions and going from one page to the other, and we'll talk about some of these other action types in further videos.